Oh man, I just clicked live, so it looks like we're
Okay.
live here.
On Instagram? Is it live on Instagram?
Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So
Okay, cool,
I
cool.
would have to I would have to upgrade my my thing
Mm-hmm.
in order to have like the fourth platform. So
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I took
hey
a picture of you for my
everybody.
for my
Okay.
Instagram. Okay, cool. There we go. So excited.
Thank
And
you,
I'm
thank you.
I'm I'm such a I don't even know the word, but I love when people start new things or when they literally just jump out there to dive into what they're doing. So I'm so happy for you. When I seen that you started, I was like, and she did it. She did
We did it. We did.
it.
Thank you so much for being that catalyst. Because if
Mhm.
it wasn't for you, I would have never hopped on the podcast. I would have, because like I told you originally. And before we deep dive into that, girl, let's talk about who you are, what you do, what you don't do. I think you're like a Siri multipreneur.
Yes,
But
that's
ladies and
that's a good.
gentlemen,
And
welcome
it's
to Fran
always
and Friends.
whoop whoop. I was about to say it's always so weird when I get interviewed because I'm always doing the interviewing. So when I get interviewed, I'd be like, "Ooh, this is new."
I think it's good because in Toastmasters, are you familiar with Toastmasters?
No, I'm not.
So Toastmasters is a public speaking organization, a club, and it's a support group to help you build upon your public speaking skills. And
Okay.
so they have something, a part of the program called table topics, and you got to think
Mhm.
on your feet. And I feel like interviews are just like that. You like,
For
oh
sure.
dang, yeah.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just now joining us, I have the author of The Bastard Child. Her name is Kawaya Haynes. And goodness, yes, please put that a little bit closer to the screen. Look at that. Her story story is so compelling. And the things that she's experienced in her life, and I believe Kawaya is like a young age of 30. Right?
Young.
30 something, 30 something. But
Yeah, I'm
you know what
30.
they say about black and brown folks,
We know it don't
brown
crack.
don't frown and black don't crack.
Nope.
So she looks like she in her 20s.
Per.
Uh, and Kawaya's not just an author, but she's also a serial entrepreneur. And she has such a resilient story that for those of you that might have dealt with either depression or domestic violence, she is going to dabble into some of those conversations. So if you have any questions, please feel free to pop that in the chat. But before we get into that, Kawaya, if you can just share a little bit about what you do. I
Sure.
only did a little bit of bio, and then
Yeah.
please have the floor.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Kawaya Haynes. I do go by K or KK because people often have a hard time pronouncing my name, so I just try to make it easy. And like she said, I am a new
I just
author.
publicly looked up your name.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's
That's why
Kawaya,
I
y'all.
say
It's Kawaya.
K or K Way. Honestly, people when they meet me, they kind of get their own little nickname for me. So the only people that my mama don't even call me Kawaya. Honestly, she called me a whole
That's
bunch of different names. But like she mentioned, I am a new author. I am a entrepreneur. I am a business owner. But I'll just broaden that and say entrepreneur because I do wear several different hats. But my main focuses are my wellness business that I owned, my social media, or not social media, my YouTube platform where I'm able to let you guys get to know me on a more intimate level. Um, and then being an author, a new author. I always
how
tell
long ago did
people,
you
I
publish the
joke
book?
about it. No, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go. No, please finish.
I was
I
about
was
to
just
say
asking how long ago it was published.
I published my book last year in August. So I'm
Okay.
still new. I'm still new, but I joke a lot, and I'm a Gemini baby. So when I start listing everything that I that I do, I tell people, please don't be alarmed. I'm a Gemini, so I have to do a lot of things in order to keep me stimulated. So because people
Okay.
are like, my goodness, and I work a full-time job. I ain't even gonna keep that out of there, because on my TikTok, I'm trying to start a new segment where I kind of shed light on being an entrepreneur, because I feel like in the generation that we live in now, when people hear entrepreneur, they think that a person's not working a 9 to 5 job. They live in a penthouse, they have all this money to get all this aesthetically pleasing content. And I'm trying to help people understand that being an entrepreneur does not mean that you do not work. Because if you
Right.
don't work, you are not going to be able to fund your businesses. You're not going to be able to travel, to network, go to events.
Mm-hmm.
So all the young aspiring entrepreneurs, I'm trying to get them to be able to accept, like, it's okay to work. Like, one thing about it, if you ask anybody that knows me, I'm gonna keep a job. Like, not because I have to, but I look at working a 9 to 5 job as a source of income. It's literally that's what it is to me. It's not,
That's
oh,
what
I
it
have
is.
to work, but it's a steady stream of income. So best
Mm-hmm.
believe I'm clocking in every day. That's why my days be so long. But I'll keep 1 to 2 jobs. This job is going to be for this business, that business. The other job is
Mm-hmm.
going to be for this business and that business. And until I get to the point where faithfully I'm making whatever my goal is, I'm going to keep a job. And then even after that, I literally just filmed a video earlier. I said, I don't care if I have $100,000 in my bank account. I'm gonna be clocking it somewhere to keep my
Yeah.
money stable, literally.
Like you
But
mentioned
yeah.
earlier about being a Gemini and having
Mhm.
to keep you stimulated. I think
Mhm.
sometimes when we do what feels right for us, the right
Mhm.
direction for us,
Mhm.
I think sometimes we try to tell other people the why of what we're doing. And I really have found myself saying, I really don't have to explain to you why I'm doing what I'm doing because this is what
Nope.
feels good to me. And
Mhm.
the
And
same
that's a
thing
good
goes
point.
with like apologizing. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. How
That's
do
a
you
very,
feel about
I think it's because of, which people say all the time, the fast-paced life that we live. Like, Instagram, I feel like we feel like if you're not on there, then you have to give an explanation, or if you are working or your path is different, you have to tell people why. But in reality, like, learn what works for you in your life, and do not compare yourself to anybody. Like, at my big age of 30, that is one lesson that I feel like I have embodied and accepted. And I feel like
yes,
that's why I'm doing so well now, because I'm literally in my own lane. I'm not looking to the left and I'm not looking to the right. I might look in front of me or look at things that I've done in the past to kind of stay
yeah,
straight, but I'm not comparing myself. Me and you had talked about, there's so many people that have podcasts, there's so many people that are authors, there's so many people that are everything, but I'm
hmm,
still in my lane and in my little bubble that I'm not
yeah,
going to be like, oh, well, this girl, she's doing a podcast and she has X amount of views and blah, blah, blah. That's good for her and her podcast, but my lane is my lane. So I feel like if more people just accept that, people might do a little bit better.
yeah. God, if it wasn't for you, girl, and I'm so grateful that you pushed me to do that because, like you said, I like, man, there's a whole bunch of podcasts out here, but you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can move in my energy. I
At
can't move
all.
in your energy. I can't live the life that you live. You can't live
Mm-hmm.
the life that I live to have those comparisons because this is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
This is life in its experience,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the beautiful thing about that. We can have dialogue about the different contrasts that we felt and experienced.
Yeah.
So,
And it's similar experiences, but like you just said, it's a different experience. What you went through and I went through was very similar, but
mhm.
we can collaborate, and look where look where we're at now.
I
Because
know.
you inspire me, because I'm not a mom yet. So that has always like, and I don't talk about it a lot, but that is something that I'm afraid of. And now that I'm 30 years old, I'm like, at some point, God's willing, I have a child, but I also come from trauma. So I don't know what that looks like in a healthy way to have
Mm,
come from trauma and then become a mother. So you are a perfect example that you can come
mm.
from trauma and look at how you turned out and then how you nurture and mother your kids. Like I'm I'm okay now. I was a little scared, but I'm like that's I have a little hope. That's what I was looking for. I have a little bit of hope.
Thank you for those accolades. But you know as well as I do, the journey that comes from all that trauma. But yeah, I am grateful
Mhm.
that my story has led me to be an example to you too. And I know that
Yeah.
yours is going to impact all these people that are watching it, on social media land.
Mhm.
So I wanted to ask you a few fun questions before we dive deep.
Yeah, we like a fun question.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. So let me have this. Let me get this question real quick.
Drum
So
roll. And your name is so cute. The name of your podcast is so cute.
thank you. I just thought
Uh-huh.
that would be like so perfect.
Yeah, it's super cute. And it makes people, your guests that you have on your show, feel like your friend. Like, okay, cool, we friends. Yay.
Girl, we are friends because this idea here is like we are all going in a direction of some sort. And I feel
Mhm.
like it is to be like a collaborative healing community through the
I know
stories
that's
that we
right.
tell. So it's
Mhm.
watch out.
I know
All
that's
right.
right.
So drum
Okay.
roll, boom.
Mm,
If you were an animal,
mhm.
which one would you be and
Ooh,
why?
that's such a fun question. So my top two that come to mind, because these are my two favorite animals, turtles.
Okay.
Because I have literally two baby turtles. I might take the camera over there, but turtles are my top favorite animal because everything that a turtle embodies, I feel like I am. They're so like they obviously don't make noise or nothing, but they also
Mhm.
can be very energetic. They represent peace and stability, which is what I crave for my life. So I would say if I could be a turtle, I would be
Mm.
a turtle and a
Yes.
monkey. I'm not even gonna lie to you, a monkey. Monkeys are so fascinating to me
Okay,
because they
okay.
have a they're super smart, I feel like, and I feel like they catch on to things very quickly.
Mm.
Um and I don't know, I just like them. So I would say turtles and a monkey. But
I
that's
like
my
both of
Gemini
those
side.
too.
I can't pick just one. It's both. It gotta be two.
Yeah. So, what do you call that? Disclaimer: there's no rules to this game.
Okay, perfect. So a third one. I really like koalas.
Like, let's go then.
I really like koalas as well.
They are so cute. I love them. And the pandas, I think it's the idea of like how, when you go to the zoo, it's like, they're so furry and fluffy. I just want
Mhm.
oh my God. The
Mhm.
turtle girl, I have a big, huge ass picture in my room
Mhm.
that's a turtle.
Yeah,
Like
turtle is
literally,
that's my spirit animal.
oh girl, yes. You're speaking my language. All right, let me see. One more question here.
Mhm.
Or two more, two more. Tell me something I don't know about you.
Hmm. Something you don't know about me. If I could change my career path,
Okay.
I would travel the world and eat at every restaurant, like all the
Girl.
famous restaurants in whichever country or city that I went to. Like if somebody paid me X amount of dollars and said, "Look, if you could change we're going to give you this amount of money to change your career and you don't have to worry about nothing else," I would literally travel the world and document myself eating at different restaurants and stuff
Girl,
because
you are
I
speaking
love
my language.
it.
I'm
That's
serious.
something that people don't, because I do so much. People, I don't think that, I know that people know that I love food, but not to the extent like sis would like. I would, I would give everything away and be able to, if I could just travel the world and eat, I would be a happy girl.
Girl,
Because food
that's my
just makes me
language right there.
happy. Food and laughter and good conversation. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. See, we the same spirit tribe. All right. This last question is, what is your favorite board game?
My
And why?
favorite board game. And that's also another fun fact. I don't like board games. I'm not even gonna lie to you. My brain
Really?
is such a, yes, a fast paced, like always working type of brain. So playing
Mm-hmm.
games low key stresses me out. So I don't play games really to decompress.
No.
Like people be like, oh, let's play a board game. I rather either sit and talk or take a nap or watch a movie. But if I have to pick a board game, I would say,
You don't have to pick it if you don't like it. That's great.
okay.
What is it? What kind of games do you like? And give me just a second because I need to blow my nose because it's over here running like it's crazy.
Okay.
Oh, just a moment.
Okay.
I'm sure they probably didn't do this on any podcasts.
I know.
All right. So the board games you were
Hmm.
saying.
So my favorite type of game would be
Mm-hmm.
card games. I'm not even gonna lie to you, which is why I'm so attracted to putting out my own. But like, there's one
Oh,
called
tell people about that because, or yeah. So I was on Kawaya's her podcast called Kay's
hmm
Way, and she had this game on there, and it was asking me
hmm
questions. And I told her,
yes.
girl, I'm still trying to figure out my stuff. So she now is offering.
My icebreaker game that I am in the works of creating is called Chitter Chatter, which leads me to say that those are the types of games that I like to play. There's one called like Dive Deep. There's drinking card games that you can play, but those type of games I like more than board games. But my Chitter Chatter game, I've watched so many podcasts and I see that people buy these different icebreaker games and stuff because I mean it for those of you that don't have a podcast, it's very hard to be yourself, generate good questions, conduct a good interview. So sometimes having those cue cards already created for you makes the game 10 times easier. Because when I first started my podcast, I didn't want to use somebody else's generated questions. I wanted everything on my podcast to be super authentic and literally everything from my dome. So I literally months before even putting out my first episode created about 20 questions and then 15 chitter chatter games, and I plan to each season add new cards on there, maybe every 2 seasons. But yeah, so those are the type of games that I like.
I really love that because I was telling Kawhi before we started the live stream
Hmm.
that I was getting lost in a podcast that I had earlier because the guest that I had went with the full conversation. I'm like, hold up,
Yeah.
girl, hold up. Let's
And
pull it back.
sometimes people do that, but if they see that you already kind of have your questions and you're
Mhm.
gonna kind of guide the conversation,
Yeah.
then it'll be a little easier because you don't want the episodes to be too long. And for me specifically, I know that there are certain topics that I want to touch on with each guest, so
Hmm.
that's why I kind of have those cards there. I'll let people talk freely, but I know depression, anxiety, how to live and cope in this social media world that we live in. I like
Hmm.
getting those 3 questions answered by every guest that I have to get and share different perspectives on the same topic. So I'll
So you
let
said
people kind of talk.
depression,
Depression, anxiety, and
anxiety.
then how to cope in the social media world that we live in. Because I feel like that's a very, I
It's
guess,
relevant.
yeah, it's very relevant.
Yeah, I felt like those questions that you asked too. are
Mhm.
questions that I also asked, but they were for
Mhm.
myself
Yeah.
because I really love learning how other people cope.
Me too.
Because that's not how I learned life. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? Yeah,
And
and
yeah, I would agree. And
yeah.
maybe that's why I'm so intrigued with wanting to share so many perspectives because I felt like, and I don't know if it's everybody, but when I was going through my divorce with my ex, and that was a very abusive relationship, I didn't
Mhm.
have any friends at the time that went through anything of that nature. So I really was like by myself going through it. I didn't really talk to my biological mom about it. I didn't really talk to my adoptive parent about it because I was kind of more embarrassed about it.
Mhm.
So I feel like now I want to touch on those topics for people that were like myself and didn't have those tools or anybody to talk to going through it. At least like if we touch on it on our platforms,
Yeah.
so many kids are on YouTube, they might just come across our video. Kids, teens, young adults, like we're on YouTube and social media. So
Yeah,
if we touch on these topics, they might not have friends that are going through it, but they can at least find something. Because I
a
didn't find,
resource, right?
yeah, I wouldn't say that I found a lot of videos on how to help me with depression, but I started watching podcasts like Jim Rohn and Les Brown, like some of those people, but
Yes.
those are not like, what's the word that I'm looking for?
They're not catered to like talking about trauma. They're really
Yes.
more about like goal setting and
And
um
it's such a far reach for them. I felt
mhm.
like it's not just like, oh, this girl, like if they watch our things, it's like we're in the now. So
Right.
that's more their years ago. So I feel like it's
I
another good reason.
That's a great thing that you brought up because
Mhm.
also too like when during your divorce season and you say you didn't have anybody to reach out to. Um,
Mm-mm.
I think growing up, not having coping skills or
Mhm.
just learning how to what's the right word for it? Conflict resolution skills.
Yes.
Asking, asking
Mhm.
was a very big thing that I didn't know how to do.
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't know.
still working with that.
That's something for you
Mhm.
too? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that comes from, I don't know if it stems from fear of being judged,
Hmm.
because sometimes if you ask certain questions to people, they might be like, "Oh, why don't you know that?" Or, "Oh, now they're in your business." So I know for me, reaching out for help with certain things, I
Hmm.
was like, I don't know. I'm a little bit more confident now because I'm just like, hey, I've accepted like I'm at where I'm at.
Right.
And that's nothing to be embarrassed about. That's nothing to feel judged about. And if somebody does judge you or make you feel that way, that's honestly like that's not
That's
an emotionally
that's
intelligent
their shit,
person.
right?
Exactly.
Okay. I
Yeah.
don't know if we can cuss on here, but bleep.
Beep.
Bro, we have more in common than I think. Our little
Uh-huh.
cues and stuff.
When's your birthday?
April 4th.
Are in
I
Aries.
love Geminis.
Yeah, I love Aries as well.
You see y'all?
We mesh very well because you guys give us balance. In Geminis, we do not naturally have our own balance, or we struggle with that. We can find balance, but it literally goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Versus, I feel like Aries, well, the Aries that I've come in contact with, for the most part,
Mhm.
you guys are very sound mind, and it's not up and down emotions, and you guys are very rational, which Geminis are very irrational at times. So that's why we mesh very well.
Girl, I'm like thinking about those descriptors. Some of those I could take, some of them I'm still learning what that looks like. But for the most part, stability is definitely something important.
Yeah.
But what do you call that? I think for you guys, for us, we love the idea that you guys are all over the place because that fuels our creativity to want to like, oh
Hmm.
yes, let's see where this can go. So we can make magic together. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm still
Yeah.
just sitting here like,
I know. I was just gonna say. I was just gonna ask you about the book now because I'm sorry because we just going. I'm just flowing, girl. So, ladies and gentlemen, quiet, please let us know about your book. How in the world did you start to begin to think to write that? And what was the premise behind it? And how do you feel that your story is able to assist others in their journey if they are in that space? I know I asked you a
Okay.
lot
Yeah,
of
I was
questions.
about to say that's so if I miss anything, please let me know. But ladies and gentlemen, the title of my book is Bastard Child. What stemmed me to write the book? Honestly, I would say yearly I write down kind of like what goals I want to accomplish for the year. And with my wellness business, I do gerontology work, which if you guys don't know, that is catering to seniors. So I was working at the time, I was working with one of my clients, and my like I shared previous in this interview, my brain is literally constantly working. So as I'm working with my client, doing meal prep and stuff, I'm thinking like, okay, I just dropped my first clothing line. I'm like, how can I elevate my brand? What else can I add to my brand as far as products, services? And the title Bastard Child came to mind. And immediately I grabbed my phone, wrote out the word Bastard Child, and wrote out my about me, or like the introduction to the book.
Yeah.
And then I started looking. I was like, okay, so I want to write a book. So that is a product now that I want to add to my brand as a whole. Writing a book has been something, or had been something, that kind of was a faint idea at a moment
Mm.
in my life, but I didn't ever really put any thought into how to actually bring that to life until that day when I had a whole full title and it literally started flowing to me.
Wow.
So I started reaching out to friends like, hey, I want to write a book. Do you know any authors that like help put the book together, bring it to life? Because I felt like I
Mhm.
needed a publishing team, because how I talk, I'm like, that can't be formulated in a book, because if people read that, they're gonna be this and now and that and what and all types of words that I can't say, that would be very
Mhm.
offensive to the average reader. So I'm like, okay, so I know I can't sit there and type out the whole or narrate the whole story. So I need a publishing team. So I was reaching out to everybody. I'm asking my clients, I'm asking friends of friends. And then I remembered that I had a friend that I had met through another mutual friend. And I told her, I'm like, hey, so I have this idea. I want to write a book. I really don't know how to do that. And me and her had prior, maybe I would say maybe a month prior to me even like coming up with the name, I was kind of telling her my story, and she's
Mhm.
like, you need to make that into a book. And I'm like, yeah,
Ooh.
kind of vaguely. I'm like, yeah. And she was like, well, I have a independent publishing company that I recently started. And she's like, I
Okay.
published one book, but I've never published another person's story. And I was like, we're done.
Look at the
I was
universe,
like, we're
right?
done. I was like, we
Girl.
are done. So let's start working. And I was her first book, and she is on the back of my book. Her company is called Queen X Literature.
Can you put
So
it up
we
there?
started.
Let me see.
This is her. Oh, this is her right there.
I was like, I think that's you.
This one, Queen
So what's
X
the name of our
Literature.
book? Use
Queen X
Queens.
Literature. Yeah,
Okay.
on Instagram. But we
Awesome.
set up Zoom meetings. From that meeting, we set up an audio. There's an app called Otter, and
Girl, yes,
she
I used
put
it.
that on, and she let me just get to talking. So that helped write the book. So I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't know how to put the words in an actual book and do all of that. So her publishing company literally helped me with that. I just had to tell my story. And then I told her that my goal for the book, I really wanted to narrate like an actual story. I did not want people to just read the book and just be like, oh, wow, I'm so sad and sorry. Like, I wanted people to feel like they were me, they were there. They like,
Mm.
I wanted a book to feel like a movie. Um,
Mm.
and when I first
Girl.
started telling her my story, she's like, that's two books into one. So I'm like, okay, so my first book I didn't want to put too much on people. So I wanted my first book to be a success type of book. I wanted people to read the book and then be inspired, like, you know what? Regardless of what I've gone through, what I come from, I still, at the end of the day, can pursue and reach every goal that I set out to aspire. So that is what the Bastard Child's
Yes.
goal and main focus is. And I was super vulnerable with some of the things that I've gone through in my life and the way that I narrated it. I know people, or the feedback that I've gotten, they're like, oh my gosh, but I really like, it's really what I've gone through in my life. But I painted such an ugly picture in the beginning, because at the end of
Mhm.
the book, then I branch over and show kind of how I ended up to where I'm
Oh,
at now.
you're
So it
cliffhanging
started off
me. Come on,
ugly.
girl. Give us something. Give us something. Give us something.
It started off very ugly. I talked about being adopted, which I've been in the social media presence since, I would say, 2015, but I've done a lot of like brand work, modeling, just kind of showy. In my opinion, I would say showy type of things. And people never really knew like why I work so hard,
Mm.
and stay so consistent in anything that I do. So letting people know that I come from foster care, I was then adopted, what mentally I went through being adopted, because I feel like when people hear the word adopted, they think, oh, everything's great, the kid is saved, and they're set up for life. And that was not my truth or my perspective on being adopted. So I shared that in my story. I shared going through an abusive relationship
Mm.
that people would not know unless like you talk to me on a more intimate level. But putting it in the book was me letting my guard down, and I guess accepting that there are so many people that go through an abusive relationship, but they're stuck in that place. I've gone through a very abusive relationship, but I still had dreams to be and do exactly what I'm doing today. So I don't want anybody that has gone through traumatic things in their life to feel like, okay, this is the end all be all, and I'm sad or I'll be depressed for the rest of my life, because that honestly was just fuel for me to keep going. And when I do have moments that I feel like giving up, which are more regular than not, I think about if I got through that, oh, what I'm going through right now is not nearly as bad as emotionally being abused or physically being abused. So I'm okay.
Girl.
So being able to touch on those things, it gave me strength, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I knew that it would give other people strength, and it
Mhm.
honestly was so therapeutic for me, because prior to writing the book, anytime I talked about going through an abusive relationship or coming out of foster care or not having a good relationship with my mom, I would get so teary eyed. But as you see now, I'm so confident, or I'm okay talking about it. So now I know that I'm fully healed, and I
Mm.
didn't know until writing my book, like, oh, I'm not as healed as I thought I was. So this was closure for me and
Mm.
entering into my new chapter of life of where I'm at now. So being able to touch on, and then the title alone, Bastard Child, that is, I took everything that happened to me in my life that could be used as a negative, and I turned it into a positive. Because when
Mm.
people hear bastard child, what does that mean? Oh, she don't know her
Right.
daddy. She don't got a daddy, which is very, very true. But look at where I'm at today. So
Right.
any girl or person out there that suffers from not having a dad, because that used to bother me, and I am a daddy's girl, and I will always be like, dang, like I know what my mom is and how she is. I wonder if these parts of me are like my dad. So I took that,
Mm.
and I'm like, okay, well, nobody has anything to use against me, so to say, because I'm telling you myself. And I want people to
Girl.
be that confident in their truth, that it's like, yes, that did happen. Yes, I've gone through an abusive relationship. Yes, I come out of foster care. But what does that have to do with where I'm at today and what I want to do
Right.
with my future? Like, don't let that hold you back from where it is that you're trying to go. So that was the gist, or the main meat and potatoes that I wanted people to get out of my book.
Goodness, I like as you were sharing those ideas of what do you call that? Like when you were talking about being a daddy's girl, and I used to
Mhm.
ask those same questions too. Like, dang, is
Yeah.
this the behavior that my dad did? And I have some of my
Yeah.
cousins here that are watching this, like they
Mhm.
grew up with my father, and I didn't know, but my mom, like
See,
she,
and
yeah,
I
like,
have no I don't know what the man looks like.
mm,
I don't know anything. So from I would say the ages of 14 to about 19,
mhm,
20ish, it was on me heavy, like, dang, like, there's a whole other side to
mm,
me that I don't know, and I used to just feel like it was a missing piece, and
mm,
then people did tease about and used to be like, "Oh, that's a bastard," or "You," like, that is the definition of it, so I'm just like, "You know what? Like, it is what it is, I can't change it,
yeah,
so bastard child what? Oh, okay."
right. And look at where you are. Like it didn't define you,
No, it
and
didn't.
I feel we inherently know what the
Mhm.
behaviors are that we have that don't
Yeah,
belong to us because we see that our
for
moms act
sure.
one way and we're like, dang, this definitely have to be like a daddy
For For
characteristic.
sure. But see, and it's weird that you say that because being able to see my mom, I feel like my mom, my biological mother, she's a very independent go-getter, always
Mm,
working. So I feel like I inherited that side of her.
okay.
But this entrepreneur side that I have, and I would say how witty I am, I would say I feel like I must have gotten that from my dad. I'm like, whoever he is, he must have been a smart man because my mom, she's not really like a creative. She's
Hmm.
very like 9 to 5, like I'm working. She's very good with saving. So I do get that portion from her. But
Hmm.
this other side of me, and I would have thought that it would be like negative stuff that I'll be like, oh, I must have got that from my daddy. But it's honestly, it's some good stuff in there. I'm like, oh, well, he might not have been as bad as I think he is,
Right, right. Like I
or
didn't
he
know
would
my
be
dad was an
proud, whoever he
entrepreneur.
is.
Right, right. He would be. This is so thank him for his seed.
Mhm.
Um, but you did all this work to get to where we are right now, right? You
Mhm.
did you did the book selling, you did the research to find out how to do this. You did
And
you know how
resource is
to
a
place.
word that I really want all the viewers to take. There
Mhm,
are resources for everything, like we touched on. I mean, if you need help with financial structure, there's a resource. If you need help, whatever you can think about, there is a resource for that. And that is something that I did not take lightly when it came
mm,
from I'm like, oh, I'm adopted. Again, that's a negative thing. There are resources for kids or people that have come out of the adoption system. So if you want to start a business, there's a resource for that. If you want to buy a home, if you want to learn how to cook, from the smallest thing to the biggest thing, utilize your resources because they are
mm,
out there. And I'm the type of person that if I sit there and I see, like we've talked about before, there are several people that do the same thing. If I see a person that is somewhere where I want to get, being a motivational speaker, whatever it is, I'm like, okay, cool. So, how did that person get there? There's a
right,
resource to that. So, I'm telling people, like, hey, I'm an aspiring um, entrepreneur. I want to learn how to do better with my finances. I want to get in school. I want to buy a house. Who can point me in that direction to get me to where I'm trying to get? You don't have to do it by yourself. And again, there
right,
are people that kind of have paved the way for you. Not that you have to copy them, but there are people that have paved the way to where you're trying to get. So utilize your resources. You can never have too many resources. Never,
right.
never,
So
never, never, never.
um on your page, do you have resources that you can provide for people that have been in the foster care system? So that way, or if they can just reach out to you via social media, would that be something that you could give
We
them
might
some
be
advice?
starting something new because I did not
Okay.
even think about that aspect of having that resource there. My wellness business is called Fusion Care. So you guys
Okay.
can follow that on Instagram.
Oh
But
well,
that
tell people what that is, and then we'll get
Fusion
into
Care,
it.
and I've rebranded my wellness business because I started off being a personal trainer. post my abusive relationship, because I'm like,
Mm.
okay, so I don't want to
Did you
start
say
doing
did you
drugs.
say personal trainer, like fitness trainer?
Yes, I started off
Okay.
being, I got my certification in personal training, holistic nutrition, and I'm
Okay.
like, okay, so I don't want to do drugs because I'm very depressed, because I, at the time, was 22, 23, now divorced in a whole new city by myself. So I'm
Mm,
like, what am I going to do? So I was trying to find positive things for myself to do to keep my brain occupied so that I wouldn't
right.
be depressed. So I started going to the gym, and
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, so this is good. It was giving me good endorphins. It was giving me something to do so that I wouldn't be by myself. So I'm like, that's how I started my fitness business. So in the beginning, I called it Case Fit Ways. So I was targeting women that had gone through traumatic backgrounds, and I was giving them that positive thing to do, to not focus on the depression of what they were going through and those types of things. Then
That's a
after,
beautiful concept. It's called Case
mhm,
Fit Way.
originally my brand was called K's Fit Ways. When
Okay.
I
And then
first started, it was
and
K's
then
Fit Ways, and it transitioned to Fusion Care. And
I
Fusion, I chose the name Fusion because it was taking where I was and where I wanted to be and combining the two. And that's when you fuse something together, that's what you get. So I
I
took
love
where
that.
I was, where I wanted to be, and I combined it. So now I, instead of just focusing on the physical attributes of health and
Yeah.
wellness, I'm
Yeah.
focusing on identifying traumas, how to deal with traumas through
Girl.
discipline, through mindful wellness. So not physical cranking out 25 reps of something, but
Right,
that
right.
might not work for one person. So we'll have
Mm,
to, I'll set up a consultation, and I'll dissect, okay, what are your goals? What are you presently going through in your life right now that will be a roadblock for you
girl,
to
I've
reach your
never
goals?
heard of this kind of like
Yeah, y'all
fitness
heard it
solution.
first
Okay, we
because
heard it here on Friend and Friends
y'all heard it first
podcast.
because
Oh my
people know
God.
that I've transitioned into that, but I have not had a opportunity to fully explain why and how, and the different things that I'm offering now. I'll be, and my website will be done by the end of March, so you guys have that to look forward to. But I'll be hosting literally every other Sunday of the month different classes focusing on breaking down nutrition, breaking down how to cope with different things that you're going through in life. Because I get asked all the time, how are you so disciplined and you have so much stuff going through? So I'm literally just going to host the class and talk about that. And I reached
Girl,
out to several different people, and I said, okay, what classes do you guys want to see from me? And people were saying how to structure, how to have discipline, how to cope with, like, when you're going through relationship type of things. Like, so I'll be offering classes like that. And
I just
people
want to
don't
rewrap
understand.
it.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I wanted to rewrap my head around this concept of fitness, emotional wealth, and
Yes,
then how it ties into our eating. And like,
yes,
I love how you said where you are right now, because
yes.
there's this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's called The Secret Language of the Body, and it
Mm-hmm.
identifies various parts of our body that
Mm-hmm.
deal with either maybe family issues,
Mm-hmm.
uh, dealing maybe with like self worth, and different
Mm-hmm.
parts of our body hold on to those traumas. And for you to bring that
Yes,
up and identify that and use
yes.
that into, like you said, in a healthy way to learn how to
Mm-hmm.
release that stuff along
Mm-hmm.
with our eating, girl,
Mm-hmm.
this is what a beautiful and whole picture to give people this kind of tool to, oh God, it's so freeing. Thank you.
You're welcome. And over the years, I understood with, like, the things that I was going through in my own life, when it comes to achieving goals, what you're going through in your present life can affect your goal achieving in a positive or a negative way. So
Hmm.
you have to adjust to what you're going through in your life. If there's a girl that's saying, oh, my goal is to work out 6 times a week because I'm trying to lose 50 pounds, if she's in a stressful environment, it is going to be hard for her to commit to those 6 days to lose those 50 pounds. So my goal is to dissect, like, okay, how are you mentally? What are
Mm,
some of the barriers that you have in your present life that will affect you from making it to the gym? Now, okay, we've identified those barriers. Now, what are some things that we can counteract? So if it's I don't have enough time, okay, my job is, okay, well, here's a quicker workout so that you're still
mm,
moving, you're still getting a little something in, but you may not be able to commit to 6 days. So I will just try to make the person feel better. Like, okay, we're still going to achieve that goal or get to
right.
your goal. It might take a little bit longer, but here are some different tools that you can use when those
Girl,
roadblocks come up, because
I might
roadblocks
need to
are
have to
going to
sign up
come
with
up.
you.
Sign up. I haven't talked about it because I was waiting for the website to be fully done. And I'm also dropping my first ebook
Okay.
this year as well, and
Okay.
to tie it into the fitness as well, because I've sold
Girl.
and hosted 30-day challenges, those different types
Mhm.
of things. But my ebook will be something that people can buy that will have some of my favorite recipes, my disciplines that I use, which are journaling, identifying your why, but I'll
Mm,
have like a journal section so that people can write down their why to go back and reflect on it later, a little calendar, budgeting, like
girl.
all that good stuff. So
Oh, girl.
y'all heard
Oh,
it
is there?
first.
I know. Yeah, I heard it first on here. Oh my God, I'm so excited for it because it just touches me in such a way that we don't realize that our eating is definitely can be a response to our trauma. Like
It
for me,
can.
comfort food, and that's why I'm like, wait, did she
Yes.
say what? She's speaking my language. Like this is
And that's not a bad
okay.
thing.
We're
Comfort
connecting the
food
dots
is
here.
comfort food, and having your comfort thing is not a bad thing. I just literally show people how to make it work for you. And I'm very
Hmm.
realistic, and I like to teach people how to be real with themselves, and that's how you're going to achieve whatever you're going to achieve. You might need a cupcake, you might need a brownie, because my comfort food when I'm really really
Say it
sad,
again, girl. Say it again.
you might need a
We might need a
cupcake,
what?
you might need a
We might need a
brownie.
cupcake. We
When
might
I'm
need a
super
brownie.
sad, if and y'all now you guys know this about me. If I'm eating an ice cream cone, I'm really
Mm.
sad. That is my comfort thing. I feel like that's
Oh.
the like, but we all need those things. So that doesn't make it you a bad person. That doesn't mean that you're not gonna reach the goal that you're trying to get, but being real and then knowing when to pull yourself out of that. That's what I'm trying to
Mhm.
teach, because depression
Mm.
can be a thing that is long term, but knowing how to put like okay, I've been depressed for a week, or I've been in my feelings, whatever word you want to put there. But okay, how to pull yourself out is give and take, give, take, give,
Mm.
take. So that
Beautiful.
is
Oh,
the gist of my rebranding of my fitness business.
is the meal prepping also a part of that as well?
Yes, I'll have an option
Okay.
on my website where you can, because some people just need nutrition help. Not everybody needs the mind, body, and soul. Some people just really want to
Yeah.
buy and have their meals already made. So that is going to be an option. So I'll do the same thing. We'll have a consultation. What are your allergies? What
Yep.
is your goal with your food? Is it for a reason, or you just really want somebody to cook for you? And then
Right,
we
right.
kind of go
And
from
for those
there.
that are watching, because
Mm-hmm.
one of the audience well that's one of my people.
Oh,
Randy
hey y'all.
he said health and wealth is important and
It
it
is.
truly is. Like if we don't
Mm-hmm.
have that health, there's no all our goals and dreams go down the hole. For
Down
those
the drain.
right, for those that are watching and they don't know what
Mm-hmm.
meal prepping is, can you give them
Mm-hmm.
an idea of what that is
Yes. So meal
and the
prepping for
purpose
me.
behind this?
Okay, meal prepping for me. I'll start with the purpose. Top purpose is it saves money, and in the
Mhm.
world and economy we live in today, saving as much as you can is key to obviously being able to live a little bit better. And I am a strict person when it comes to my finances, so wherever I can cut down, I try to. So I would
Mhm.
say better management with your finances, and then for me, meal prepping is key because it helps what we eat and what we put into our bodies helps with how our brain processes things, the energy that we have throughout the day, our sleep
Mm-hmm.
patterns, and
Mm.
even people don't realize your mood plays a big part in what you're consuming and what you're putting into your body. So being
Like
able
we are what we
to
eat, right?
literally, but literally, so meal prepping just kind of gives you a more structured lifestyle. And it gives you control, which I'm the type of person that having control over my life, I feel very empowered.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
why I told you in the beginning when I don't meal prep, I'm like, ooh, I'm at the whim of whatever life is about to give. So whatever energies people are putting in their food when I have to go eat food out. So meal prepping, you're able to have that control over an aspect of your life where
Mm.
in other aspects of our life, because life be lifing, you may not have as much control. But with meal prepping, you're able to structure and plan what you're eating, the energy, because you're making the food 9 times out of 10, or you're going to somebody that you believe has very good energy. So that is there. Um, and for me, it just helps my week run smoother because I'm not having to think about, because I typically meal
Right.
prep on a Saturday or a Sunday. I don't like to meal prep during the week. Now, if I just have a busy week and I can't, I'll still kind of do like a 2 to 3 day meal prep versus the whole week. But it just helps my week run smoother. Like once we get done, I'm gonna write out my plan
Yeah.
and then go to the grocery store and meal prep so that tomorrow I can have a chill day. Then come Monday, I'm running like clockwork. I get up, I work out, go to my first client, then I work, go to work, clock into work, then I do business stuff, any emails, videos, content that I need to make, and my day is
Hmm.
done. I'm not like, what do I have to make? And then I gotta cook it. Then I gotta clean it up. I go straight to the refrigerator, grab my breakfast
Grab it.
out, eat that,
Hmm.
go. Then pop my lunch in the microwave. Everything is just flowing. So it takes a little bit of stress out of life and life because life is already so stressful.
So it
So
saves time,
time,
saves money,
money,
and saves you from anxiety.
mm-hmm.
And
And
then
it
it helps with weight management. That's what it sounded
yes.
like. Yeah.
Yes, it
You don't have
it
to go out
does.
and go eat some fast food.
And honestly, it helps with weight management and for my people that are looking to gain, because I was one of those. So I was meal prepping not to lose weight, but to actually gain weight. Planning out
Hmm.
your meals literally can it adds that the
Better.
factor what you're eating, because if you're looking to bulk or whatever, you just would make more food. But versus if you're a person that is trying to gain weight and you don't have any food like that is made for you, you're probably
Mhm.
grabbing chips, drinking soda pop, or grabbing a quick this and a quick that. But to gain weight, you actually need to be eating full meals. So a
Mm.
good 6 meals for all my people that are out there trying to gain weight, a good 6 solid meals. And then for people that are losing weight, then you cut down your meals a little bit and focus on your portion. So it helps for both parties. I don't want people to think like, oh, well, I'm skinny, so, or I'm trying to gain weight, so I can't meal prep. No, it helps both ways.
Yeah. Girl, you do so much. And we're getting ready to wrap up. I just wanted to touch
Yes.
base again on all the things that you do. So
Hmm.
you are an author of a book
I
called
am
The
Bastard
Bastard Child. Could you
Child.
put it up for
Yeah.
the people that are just now tapping in? Okay. Awesome.
And
And
it
they
is
can find you
available
where?
on
Okay.
Amazon or queenxliterature.com.
Girl, just saw it on Barnes and Nobles. I didn't know if you knew it was on Barnes and Nobles.
Shut up.
Yes, it's on Barnes and Nobles.
You're
I am
lying.
not lying. I'm looking at it right now online.
That's so exciting.
Okay, well, let's start that over again. Ladies and gentlemen, Kawaya's book is available on Amazon, on Barnes and Nobles. And what other platforms did you say it was available on?
queenxliterature.com. And if you guys reach out to me personally on Instagram, I will have on hand copies probably in about a month, because I sold out, so
Okay.
that's a blessing. And I can always just ship them to you guys.
Okay, cool. All right, so we have the book. She also
Hmm.
does. holistic health, which is
Yes.
called Fusion Fitness.
The Fusion Care on Instagram.
I got that all wrong. Repeat that one more time.
The Fusion Care. Fusion Care Wellness. So you can just say that. But if you go to my Instagram, it is in my bio. So you can just click on there and follow me.
Okay.
I am currently hosting a 4-week challenge. So if you guys are interested, I just really wanted people, because for me, my year started in March. So I put together like a little 4-week challenge of, I have all the details on my page. So if you guys want to join, just go ahead,
Okay.
let me know, and tag me daily in your healthy meals. If you're getting active, if you're learning a new
Tell us about the
topic,
challenge. What is it? What do we have to do to get involved? Hey,
just
Hanif.
literally start. Just literally just start, and then just post me. This is more of like an accountability chain. So I just want people to know, like, if you are starting this challenge, you have me, and there are other people that are joining as well. So if you need some motivation, just reach out to somebody, say, hey, I'm feeling a little lazy today. I need that extra motivation. I'm gonna tell you, get up, get moving, because every single day I am getting moving. I have my rest days, and I'll say, you know what, you did good for your 5 days. Okay, go rest, go eat something good, and meet me back on Monday.
Okay, so this is Kawaya's challenge to y'all. So Kawaya, please let people know where they can find you on all your social media platforms, and also too when we're done recording,
Mhm.
I'll put all those handles inside of our podcast.
On my main social media page is at Kay's Ways Main. So that's KAYSWAYS_Main. And you'll find all my other handles literally in my bio to my podcast, which is Fine Talks. And then my wellness business, which is the Fusion Care.
Hmm.
And yeah, thank you guys for your time. I hope that I was able to inspire you guys to just be like, when you think of Kawaya and you hear my name, be literally be present, be intentional, be successful, be motivated, and most importantly, be you and stay true to yourself. Do not get caught up in impressing anybody, feeling like you're in competition with anybody, because your story is your story, and it is and will motivate whoever it's supposed to. So you don't have to worry about trying
Right,
to reach and be and connect
right,
with certain people who you're supposed to connect with. The universe got that. You literally just have to
right,
be.
right. No, and I was just about to ask you if there were some last words that you would leave with the audience. What would be those things? So you're telling us uh, to be present with who we are and
Yes.
not try to fit into somebody else's thing.
No, if you stay true to yourself, you will never, ever, ever go wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, becoming a better person and taking criticism or feedback is always good, but staying true to what your core values are, you will never go wrong. You won't get caught up in the wrong crowd. And not all money is good money either. So to
Mhm.
my aspiring entrepreneurs, not all money is good money. I know it looks like a quick fix to get your name out there or be a part of this, and then that will help X, Y, and Z. If it is outside of your core values, do
Mhm.
not do it, because you will regret
Right.
it. So that is for my aspiring entrepreneurs, because I
Yeah.
feel like in the beginning when I first started, I got caught up in that, but then I was able to reel myself back and say, if it's not in my lane, I don't want to be a part of it.
And that's so true. Like association is very important. You really got to
It
know
is.
um, the intentions of some of the people that you're working with, and
Mm-hmm.
okay, does it line up with your mission? Then that
Yes,
would be a question for self.
for sure.
What are my core values? What is my mission? Do I feel peaceful in taking on this new contract or this connection?
Mm-hmm.
And if it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't, that would highly likely be a sign for you to walk away. But
Yes.
oh, you said that you also have resources for the people on your page for the foster care system. Is that something that you?
No, I was saying that's probably something that I should add, because
Okay.
I do partner with a foster care nonprofit organization. They're called
Mhm.
WASMO, but
Can
I
you
need
spell that?
to put I'll send that to you so I
Okay.
don't butcher it. And if you guys have resources for me in order to do more work and provide more resources, because that is what I want to do with my wellness brand, I am open to that. And that will help me get to that next level because
Okay.
that is something that really defines me. So, anybody
Mm.
out there that wants to be a good mentor as far as getting that done, I am open to the mentorship.
Okay. Are you open to take a question or two? If
Yes,
somebody
I
has.
am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. We are wrapping up, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a question, please put it in the chat so that way I can ask our special guest here. And after you do that, I guess we'll wrap up this session. But thank
Okay,
you
and I'm
so much.
so proud of you. Keep it going. 5 episodes in. Let's go.
Thank you, thank you. Hanif Jordan, she's in the comments.
Hmm.
She is also an author and a podcaster. I think
Yay.
y'all may need to connect because her story
Yes.
is also too about resilience and God,
Is
I
that
think
who you emailed me about?
no, that is Professor Zahalia Anderson,
If
and
you guys can, anybody wanting to get interviewed, literally just email or DM my podcast page, which is Fine Talks, which that's in my bio as well, so that I have your Instagram handle
Mhm,
and my team can reach out to you because I do have a team that takes care of booking and stuff. So I don't want to miss anybody. And I'm literally always, I appreciate when people reach out to me and say, hey, I want to get on your show and talk.
mhm.
Like, I love that. So
Girl,
if
your
you guys are
stories.
interested, just please just DM me so that we can get you set up for an interview. I am currently in season 2, so I'm super excited. I'm dropping your episode this Saturday, so on the 16th. So you guys be on the lookout for that. It was a
Oh,
tearjerker.
yes.
I
Oh my
I
God.
cried watching
What?
you cry. I was like, oh yeah,
Uh,
that was a perfect way to end season 1. And it was so hard for us to get that interview, so I'm like, I'm
I
glad that
know.
we
Sick
pushed
that day.
through. I'm glad that we pushed through because everything turned out perfect. And I was
Oh
like, that's
God.
about to be a smooth transition into my season 2. So that was chef's kiss.
Ah,
When I watched my episodes back before I aired them, and I'm like, yeah, that was a good, I know it's gonna be a good episode. And that was a very good Oprah. I hope
okay.
anybody that know Oprah, y'all tell her I want to meet her because that was a on Oprah's couch episode for sure, for sure.
Oh goodness. Well, thank you so much for having me on your show. And
No problem.
I'll connect you with Tanif. I think
Okay.
Tanif's is also hers is called couch therapy. So
Ooh, I need a
yo
good
girl,
couch therapy session.
girl. Tanif is all up in the business and she's also an intuitive.
Ooh, ooh, that's
Girls.
deep. That's
Oh yeah,
deep.
oh yeah. Oh definitely. But nobody asked any questions. So
Okay,
once again,
cool.
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for
And
having me.
girl, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. And don't work too hard. Do not work too hard. Take one
What's
day
that?
off at least. One day. We'll go have a mimosa, some pancakes, something to take one day off, if anything. But thank you, thank
Yeah,
you, thank you, thank you. And
thank you.
please send me
Appreciate you.
the recording as well so that I can post
Okay.
it.
All
All
right, sounds good.
right.
Have a great
Bye.
rest of your day. Okay, bye.
Bye.